Hello, Abdul.
Yeah, hello, philosopher. How are you doing?
Doing fine. How about you?
Yeah, doing well, alhamdulillah.
Do you have any new arguments?
No, but I have some questions that you want to ask about atheism.
Yeah, okay, you can ask. But you should know that I don't have much time. Maybe we can talk 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or maybe maximum half an hour.
Okay, it's okay, it's
Okay,
okay.
good, very good.
So, yeah, I have to know. We have been, in discussion before, and the same question I asked you, but I believe that I haven't get, a very good answer. So that's why I'm asking you again, if it's okay for you.
It's okay because I don't remember our conversation. I don't remember your
Yeah. Okay.
questions.
Okay. Right. So, my question is that what is atheism, and what it's basic, what it's based on, and what's the criteria of atheism to acknowledge something. I mean that what is the criteria that the atheism follow, and at the end, eventually, they make a conclusion that yes, this is right and this is wrong.
So,
Go ahead, please.
even when you were asking the questions, you made a lot of mistake by asking the questions, while asking the question, because you're asking me what is atheism, and I assume that you don't know well about atheism, then you're asking a question based on some knowledge that you have, because you're assuming that there are conclusions in atheism, and you're asking, okay, why, based on what those conclusions are. So you should understand that you're making mistakes even while asking the questions. But anyway, I will briefly
Yeah.
explain, and I believe I answered your questions well in the first time because these questions are always being answered in this table. So, atheism is lack of belief in God or belief that God doesn't exist. So, there are two types of atheism. First type of atheism claims that there's no God, believes that there's no God, and they base their beliefs on some arguments. And I'm not such an atheist, that's why I cannot defend such kind of a position. But the second atheism, lack of belief in God, is just not having the belief that a God exists. And that doesn't require argument, that doesn't require base. It's just lack of evidence and not being convinced that the claim is true or even false. So I can't say that it's true that there's no God. I can't say that. I'm an agnostic. I don't know whether any God exists or not. So I cannot make big claims that there's no God at all. But I don't have the belief that a God exists because I don't see good evidence. I'm not able to see that. If there is good evidence, I don't see that. That there are evidence, and I don't think that they're good evidence. And I can explain why I don't think they're good evidence, but that's another discussion.
Yeah, okay. So you have mentioned that there is lack of, evidence that the existence of God, and you said that there is not a solid evidence that on basis of that we should believe that existence of God. But what is a solid evidence according to you?
Okay, yeah,
You
it
know,
depends on one God to another God. So you're a Muslim and you believe that God is super powerful, maybe even all powerful. I don't know how to define precisely, but at least you believe that your God created the entire universe, designed the universe, everything inside the universe, including humans, animals. Even he designed an afterlife, hell, heaven. So I assume such a powerful being right now, if he wants, he can teleport 1 kilogram gold into my room. If it happens right now, that's a solid evidence for me that, okay, someone was listening to me and that someone has those magical powers. Since we're talking about God, that would be a good evidence for what we were talking about. Still, it could be false in the end of the day, but it would be sufficient enough for me to believe, to have a belief. Just because I have a belief, that doesn't mean whatever I believe is true. I also understand that, but at least that kind of evidence would be enough for me to believe that, okay, Probably that's the case. I believe that there is someone out there super powerful who can teleport a gold brick into my room.
Okay, well, right, right, okay. So yeah, still I'm waiting for the question that what is the criteria? For example, if we have to, in Islam, it's clear that we believe in something that we cannot see. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, we cannot see Him, but we have belief on Him. So this is the Islamic criteria. So I'm asking you, what is the criteria for the atheist to believe or to accept or acknowledge something, and
Abdul,
what is
Abdul,
that?
Abdul, you're saying that this is the criteria in Islam, and you're just saying, I don't see something, but I believe in it. This is not a criteria. Like, do you believe in everything that you don't see? No, so that means that's not a criteria. Do you believe in
Okay, so
dragons? No, you don't see
okay,
them.
okay, okay, right, okay. So I'm asking about atheism. So I can
Yes.
defend myself, but yeah, right now we are talking about atheism. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to know about it. So because
Yes.
we are
And
human,
that's
so
why you
humans
should
have different
That's why you
intellectuals.
should
You have.
that's why you should listen the answers carefully, Abdul. I mentioned that there are two types of atheism, and I'm a soft atheist, which is agnostic atheism. And as I explained you, I'm just not convinced by the evidence that presented. That's my criteria. I look at the evidence and I evaluate the evidence. If it can lead me to many different conclusions and which already exist here, then I wouldn't choose to believe in it. For example, let's suppose there's an apple in your room right now. If someone claims that, hey, that apple came into your room with an alien teleported the apple into your room. If someone claims that, I would say, no, I don't believe in that. Why? Because we have never seen any alien before. We don't have evidence, good evidence for aliens. And that's why I don't think that that's the way that the apple came to your room. So I apply the same thing for such kind of claims. If there is a supernatural claim, which is something that we have never seen or we don't have good evidence for it, what's the good evidence for something? You should understand that. And I gave you one good example. Something seemingly uh, magical happens. Yeah, that's an extraordinary evidence for such a big claim to me. And what's the evidence of aliens? Observing them, right?
Okay, so yeah, philosopher, in this world, in this universe, there are so many things that they do not exist. They don't have any physical existence, but we believe on them. We have to believe on them. If we have to discover more and more things in this universe.
Hmm.
So yeah, for example, time and the digits we count, and we use in our scientific studies to discover something or to invent something. They do not exist, but we believe on them, but we use them. So yeah, you do not need a solid proof for something, and
For
especially.
something, yeah. Yeah, can you claim that those numbers has been created in another place? So we know that we created those concepts, right?
Yes,
And we are using them.
yes.
So what if God concept is something like that? We created God concept and we are using it, we are making use of it. And I understand that. So you think that that's the same case?
No, no, it's not the same case.
So you see the difference. They're different things.
Yeah, look, you know why we believe, why we believers, we have believed that there is a God. Because if we see things around us, they are, have been created, in a very good manner, in a very disciplined manner.
Agree.
So and we know that we humans always deal with the energy, matter, and time. So these things that are in our universe. So and we know that everything's come from the atoms, and the atoms do not have any intellectuals, and they are not intelligent enough to create something. They are dependent on something. So if the small brick of our creation, for example, I'm human, so I'm made up of cells, and the cells are made up of the atoms. So the atoms are made up of the electrons and protons, but the electrons and protons cannot make cannot make anything. So now my question is, so how these atoms make this such a huge universe? So are they good enough to make this universe, themselves, or there is someone who created this disciplined universe and this
Okay,
human body?
I got your question. But atoms, they don't make the universe, they are in the universe. You should first know that. But here's the problem about your question, Abdul.
Actually, yes, they make the universe because we know that universe has a beginning. So
Uh,
if the universe has a beginning, so yeah, okay, go ahead. Yeah. Actually, philosopher, I have to make it clear that yes, the matter and the energy make the universe
no,
according to
they
Big
are
Bang
in the
theory.
universe. That's not according to Big Bang Theory. You should just check Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
Energy
yeah.
cannot be created
The same as
nor
okay.
be destroyed. It is a very fundamental law of the universe. So you just check it, okay? Energy hasn't
Yeah,
been
I will check it
created
again.
and cannot be
But
destroyed.
same
Just
I will
just check it.
suggest
Just
for
check
you.
it. Um, a law of preservation of energy. Just check it.
Yeah, I will.
So that's
I know,
what
and
so you're
I will
referring to
again.
Big Bang, so you're referring to science, then you should just think about it and search about it. It's a simple rule. So energy was there, okay? Energy is just changing its form in the universe. But how things happening in this universe is just a question that you don't know the answer yet. And since you don't know the answer of something, you shouldn't assume, oh wait, there must be someone creating these things. Why? Because I can't understand how atoms come together and create those things. That's an argument from ignorance. You don't know the answer. You're just asking a question and you don't know the answer. And you're saying, wait, if I don't know the answer, maybe there is someone who is creating those things. And you're just assuming things here. And I can ask you, Abdul, how your God exists. How your God exists eternally. How something can exist with no creator. But wait, a universe is something that we don't understand, so complicated. And as you said, is perfect. Okay, then you're saying that there must be creator. Okay, if such a thing requires creator, then your God also requires creator. Who created your God? Who created an eternal, powerful creator, which is your God? So asking these questions are useless.
Okay,
That's
so
the
yeah,
first thing that you should
I can
learn.
answer.
You can answer, yeah. Go.
So actually, the God Allah who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the internal, is uncaused being.
Yeah, that's
So
how
he is
defined.
the most powerful. Look, this is our concept. So,
We don't care about concepts. So
yeah, right.
I can
Yeah,
also
right.
create something right now here. I
Yeah,
can
I'm giving
say
you the
that
answer.
doesn't mean that that's real. I can create a lot of concepts right now. That's why I don't care about your concept.
Look, in science, if you are a student of science, you know that if something happens, then there should be a cause behind it. So if this universe has a beginning, if this universe came into existence, then there should be
That's
some
not
cause.
science, Abdul. You should learn about Big Bang and cosmology, okay? That's not what science say. Science says that the singularity started expanding. They don't say that the universe came into existence. They don't say such kind of a thing. So
Yeah,
you should
yeah,
learn
but
about
the
that
Big
part.
Bang and
Yeah,
yeah,
something
the Big
started
Bang.
expanding and you're saying how it started expanding, right?
Yeah.
And that's
So
just a question.
sorry.
That's just a question. You don't have an answer for that. You have an assumption for the question. You're assuming that, hey, wait, I don't understand how something can start expanding by itself. Therefore, there must be an external cause for it. I can easily ask the same question to you. I don't understand how an eternal being can cause other things by itself. I don't understand that also. I can also assume the same thing that you're doing. then wait, there must be another external, eternal thing that's causing that thing to do those things. So there's a cause for your God. So then how can you explain something can exist by itself? I have the same questions for your God. Just because you define your God in a particular way, that doesn't mean it exists. That doesn't mean it exists in that way. Even if there is a being who is intelligent and who is the cause of this universe, maybe it's totally different than your belief. Maybe it's something else. And I can easily ask the same questions. And asking those questions are not arguments, you should learn that. I'm asking the same
Yeah,
questions
okay,
just
yeah.
to show you that you're being unfair because you don't have an answer and you're saying, oh, then the answer must be my belief.
Okay, it's right. So yeah, I will do more research on it. It's okay for me. But yeah, that's a discussion. Oh, okay, sorry. Wait a moment, please.